Hello, welcome to Twisdon360 Politics Unplugged. You're going to find it on Kowa Podcast, where we strip down the noise and lay politics bare. In this episode of Twisdon360 Politics Unplugged, we take a bold look at 4 explosive stories shaping our world: Iran nuclear issue and Tinubu's launching Lagos-Calabar Coastal Highway and Gaza conflict. That's all we have today. As you know, it's a live program, so we are going to deep dive into what is going on today. As we said and promised, no filter, no gimmicks, no spin, just truth. A truth, but a truth. Iran carried out a secret nuclear program, has amassed more near-weapon-grade uranium. As IAEA says, Iran carried out secret nuclear activities with material not declared to UN nuclear watchdog at 3 locations that have long been under investigation, the watchdog said in wide-ranging confidential report to the member states seen by Reuters. Iran carried out a secret nuclear program with undeclared material and had conducted covert experiment, the United Nations nuclear watchdog has stated in a confidential report to member states. In another report, IAEA said Tehran has now increased its stockpile of uranium enriched to near weapon-grade level. Iran on the brink of nuclear capability. This is the article we put down for our commentary. And the West hypocrisy. Iran on the brink of nuclear capability and the hypocrisy of the West. A leaked report from the International Atomic Agency, IAEA, obtained by Reuters reveals that Iran enriched uranium to 60% purity, a significant technical step toward building nuclear weapon. Western media are already sounding alarm, but the real danger lies not in Iran's action. It lies in the hypocrisy and bullying of global imperial powers, particularly the United States. The truth is clear. Iran is responding to years of provocation. The original JCPOA nuclear deal brokered under Obama administration was far from perfect, but it was at least a diplomatic framework. Donald Trump's unilateral withdrawal from that agreement, coupled with brutal sanctions that crushed Iran's economy, was nothing short of economic warfare. And now, in a new campaign cycle, Trump threatens direct military action, says that bombing them like they have never been bombed before. And I think Iran are never going to just sit down and look at Trump or any U.S. president bombing them like they have never been bombed before. In the face of these imperial aggressions, Iran's pursuit of nuclear deterrence is not irrational, according to its foreign minister. I'm paraphrasing. Abbas Araghchi says it is defensive. Any nation under constant threat of sanctions, sabotage, and airstrike has every right to prepare for its survival. It is the U.S. and its allies who have militarized the Middle East, armed apartheid Israel to the teeth, and destroyed entire nations under the banner of democracy, a imperial democracy, a democracy that doesn't work for the people but work for the U.S. itself. The Iraq war in the name of democracy is a total lie, and it's a shame for imperial powers. The IAEA, under the control of the UN system, has long been compromised by the Western influences and has failed to hold the U.S. accountable. Its silence on Israel's undeclared nuclear arsenal and on Washington's warmongering exposes the agency's double standard. It has become a practice, a tool of imperial imprisonment, not global justice. So what is the path to peace? A just peace. Well, I'm of the school that renowned University of Chicago professor proposed, Professor John Mearsheimer, has argued that the balance of power is the only guarantee of stability in the region. Either all nuclear powers in the region disarm or Iran must be allowed to build its own deterrent. Anything less sustain a violent imbalance where one side bombs at will and the other side bleed in silence. The truth is that the West doesn't peer nuclear weapons, it peers independent nations that are refusing to bow down to their own imperial whims and caprices. Iran's defiance, like Cuba's or Venezuela's, is what truly opened the empire. And until the world is willing to confront this double standard, we will keep spinning in cycles of war and coercion and resistance. This is the highlight of Twisdon Politics Unplugged today on Iran nuclear issue. We are going to go to Palestine, the Gaza conflict, where Israel killed at least 30 civilians and over 200 injured. Israeli forces opened fire at civilians waiting on aid in Al-Mawasi camp in Gaza, according to WAPA. Live rounds were fired from ground vehicles and armed drones targeting the gathered crowd waiting for a food. It's been announced that there is gonna be aid to come. Gaza Genocide is live-streamed, pundit, and defended by the Western superpowers. Israel is not perpetuating this violence alone, but it is together with the Western allies of its. We have now entered a new horrifying phase of Israel's atrocities in Gaza. The mask has completely fallen. The mask of Israeli genocide has fallen completely. What is happening is not a war, it is genocide, not a hiding one. It is a live-stream genocide unfolding before our eyes like a twisted global broadcast, sponsored and shielded by imperial power, from open call for mass extermination by Netanyahu's far-right ministers to the deliberate bombardment of refugee camps, hospitals, and schools. The intent is clear. This is not collateral damage. This is policy. Specifically, when you listen to Bezalel Smotrich, the Israeli minister, who brazenly says that they're going to expel Palestinian and reoccupy Gaza. The Israeli regime is no longer pretending. The Israeli regime no longer pretends, and the world, especially the West, can no longer claim ignorance. Genocide is being committed with full rhetorical material backing from the United States, the same U.S. that sent billions in military aid while claiming to mediate a peace. What a hypocrisy. Take the ongoing talks between Hamas leaders and U.S. Middle East envoy Steve Witkoff. These backdoor negotiations, stuck in loops of temporary truces and humanitarian illusions, are not meant to end the bloodshed. They are meant to manage it, to contain the outrage, while allowing the machinery of apartheid to grind on. This is what imperial diplomacy look like. They don't want a permanent ceasefire, they want silence. They want to neuter the resistance, while Israel finishes its ethnic cleansing under the cover of security. From the leftist and anti-imperialist perspective, what we are witnessing is not an anomaly, it is a logical outcome of decades of colonial arrogance, settler colonial violence, and an imperial double standard. The Palestinian people are being crushed, not because they are violent, but because they refused to kneel down. They refused to kneel down. This is not a complete, this is a one-sided slaughter, a state armed with F-35s and nukes against a captive population barely holding onto food and water and dignity. And they still resist. We must say it without fear. Israel is an apartheid regime, and its action in Gaza constitute a genocide. Every government media outlet or institution that refuses to say it is complicit, and history will not forget, either will we. Number 3, we are going to go back to Nigeria. Rotimi Amechi says that he's never going to vote for Tinubu or work for him. Amechi says that he told him in Yola that he will never support him and will never work for him. And I did not work for him and I did not vote for him. And it was the issue of capacity, according to Rotimi Amechi. Some of us who are here also are those who vote on an ethnic or religious basis. In Northern, uneducated people are manipulated to vote based on ethnicity and religion, and that is why we are here. Nobel laureate Professor Wole Soyinka has said that the ex-Minister of Transportation, Rotimi Amechi, demonstrated courage by refusing to step down for President Tinubu during APC 2023 presidential primary election contest. Soyinka spoke in Abuja on Saturday at Amechi's 60th birthday celebration. This is Rotimi Amechi, the guy who is in the same party with President Tinubu and came as a runner-up in APC 2022 primary election, saying this. But he didn't say it during campaign trail so that Nigerians will know the guy that wanted to govern their country. It is good that he said it now. And now this is the behavior of Nigeria's ruling elite. Now together, ganged off in Amechi's 60th birthday in Abuja, talking about coalition. A coalition or a power grab. This is a coalition of power grabbing in 2027. At the same time, we are going to talk about the Lagos-Calabar Coastal Road that is been accompanied with a huge pampa. While only 30 kilometers is the successful, the government is talking about commissioning the only 30 kilometers. Isn't this a mockery? A mockery of our intelligence? Nigerians deserve better. This political theater is never going to work. This is the politics of boiled water. At a time when hunger tightens its grip on millions of Nigerians, the Tinubu administration rolled out red carpet to commission 30 kilometers of a 700-kilometer coastal highway. A ribbon was cut, speeches delivered, and media houses flooded with praise. But let's be clear, this is not development. It is a deception dressed in concrete. Commissioning only 30 kilometers out of 700 kilometers is like celebrating a meal when you have only boiled water. It's a slap in the face, a mockery of the intelligence of the Nigerian people. How can a government preside over economic collapse, rising hunger, mass layoffs, and insecurity, yet prioritize a pamper over a substance? This road, from its conception, reeks of elitist logic. It is not designed for the poor or the struggling. It is a billionaire's highway passing through luxury corridors while communities remain cut off, neglected, and impoverished. And now to commission a fraction of it as though Nigeria has arrived at some historic milestone is a pure political theater. The truth is painful but necessary. What APC is selling is illusion, not progress. The real infrastructure isn't about press conferences and bulletproof SUV. It's about connecting people, opening accesses, and delivering tangible relief to ordinary Nigerians. And until the truth must be told, and until this policy of boiling water, the real infrastructure, like we say, isn't about press conferences. It is, and bulletproof SUV, it's about connecting Nigerians. Until then, the people must refuse to clap for boiled water. We deserve more. Nigerians deserve more. Thank you very much. This is all we have got for you. We talk about Iran nuclear project. We talk about boil water policy of Tinubu administration. We talk about Gaza. And that's all we have got for you. Thank you very much for listening.